Hello there, it is Catherine Massell. It's Soul Session Saturday. Hello, those of you who don't know who I am an intuitive energy healer. I am a spiritual growth catalyst and an ascending earth creatrix. So I wanted to talk to you today about the very interesting ascension codes that I've been working with over the past few weeks. If you've been following me and you know what I do and you are in my Facebook group or follow my business page or my website, you know that I've been talking about the ascended feminine quite a bit. And there is an ascension process that is happening right now, and it's just part of the ascension process of bringing more wholeness and a sense of integration between the very polarizing aspects, especially the polarizing aspects that we're experiencing right at this time in the ascension process of Mother Earth, of masculine and feminine. And we think of these as being, sure, polarized sometimes, and being very much entrenched in duality consciousness. But what is happening as we're gaining traction on the path of planetary ascension, we're going into different operating systems, different belief systems. We're casting aside the conditioned belief systems that are part of the rigid confines of 3D consciousness and 3D awareness, and starting to move towards non-dual ways of being. And so what we're finding is that the masculine and the feminine especially are overlapping. There's a beautiful integration and overlapping of things like the masculine and feminine, and this is just one part of the ascension process. And so there's a really interesting thing taking place right now where, and I like to call it the God and Goddess Oracle template. These are ascension codes that are part of the God and Goddess Oracle template. Taking the goddess and God archetypes of old, of ancient belief systems, conditioned belief systems based around the god or the goddess, demanding dutiful worship, demanding a certain reverence, and thinking of the god or the goddess as being superior and us being lesser than. This is another polarity that is going away, and there's a really interesting dynamic at play with this, that instead of worshiping, for instance, the ancient goddess embodiment of feminine energy, of the goddess embodiment of mysteries and gifts and abilities, we find ourselves now approaching what I perceive as an even playing field. There are many goddess and God aspects being mirrored in us right now as we are gaining accelerated traction on the path of planetary ascension. So we're embodying more and more aspects of the God and Goddess, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, the ascended master aspects of the God and Goddess archetypes especially are emerging. So when we talk about the goddess archetype, we can start thinking of them, because they're becoming more accessible to us, we can start thinking of goddesses in particular as ascended masters, or embodying, emanating, coming forth in their ascended master aspects, meaning they're not really commanding or demanding dutiful worship and reverence. They're asking us to see ourselves in them and vice versa. So there's a really interesting dynamic at play here. And so as I've been cocooning myself in this energy over the last 2 months or so now, I've been bringing forth the Ascended Feminine. And it is a course that I'm offering. It's an 8-week course that I'm offering, working with 8 goddesses who are coming forth in their emanation as ascended masters. So as the earth and every being on it collectively ascends, we are in a birthing process of a new dimension of consciousness. Part of this new dimension of consciousness is understanding that everything's being redefined, everything is refined, reframed, okay? And we get to be the ones that redefine it and reframe it. So it's very, very exciting. We're starting to realize and embody the true power of our ability to be master creators of our experience in every aspect. And so as we do this, we're starting to birth this new dimension of consciousness, and part of that is understanding that there is the ascended feminine and the ascended masculine. So those traits, those gifts, those abilities that we would assign to being feminine or masculine, respectively, we notice there's this overlap. There is this merging. There's this beautiful dance. When I was doing a reading for the gals in my group today, Heal, Awaken, and Ascend, I was talking about how if we think of ourselves as a thread in the tapestry of all existence, this tapestry which forms the quantum fabric of the universe, that unifying force that brings every part of sentient life together in a unifying consciousness in the universe, we are, just as we are a thread in that tapestry, we're connected to that next thread next to us, and that next thread, and that next thread, in a beautiful divine intertwining or braiding or dance, this beautiful cosmic multiversal dance choreography that's happening. We are involved in it, and we are understanding, as we are part of this unity consciousness, that there is a new template of consciousness, a new way of understanding our being that is emerging. And so that is bringing in this incredible amount of harmony, of balance. And one of the glaring polarities or polarizing things that are part of our 3D consciousness here is thinking of the masculine and feminine, and it is in great need of balance. One need only to look into the world around you and see that there are some very, very polarizing feelings about masculinity and femininity, and misunderstood aspects of both of those aspects and traits. So there is a reframing and a redefining of this polarity, and it is becoming the ascended feminine and the ascended masculine, respectively. Although we're moving into this place where the lines between the two are becoming rather blurry, because there is this overlap, because we're understanding that we are just part of the quantum fabric of the universe. Everything is intertwined. Everything is braided together. There is no separation. There is no duality. There is no polarity. There is only a unifying consciousness. I'm starting to get this. So what my work is right now with the Ascended Feminine is this kind of reworking of the archetypes and helping us figure out a new language around and a new way to have this information, this wisdom land within us. Doing that requires a reworking of these archetypes that are not bound by the confines of the rigid duality as understood in 3D consciousness. Rather, it's thinking of this and emerging, birthing a new consciousness or a new reality or a new way of being that morphs kind of a blissful androgyny of masculine and feminine together, of overlapping attributes and traits that embody or inhabit both male and female. This is only part of the mass awakening that's happening. This is, again, this merging of the masculine and feminine and overlapping of the masculine and feminine. This is a overlapping of autonomy, which would be deemed as more masculine, and receptivity, which is deemed more feminine. There's an overlapping, and those lines between the two, which would be rigidly defined before, actually becoming kind of blurry, and there's a lot of overlap here. And so these aspects of humanity that we've had a framing for or an identity for so long, it's all changing. It's all being redefined. It's all being in that redefinition and that reframing. Then we get the chance to refine it and distill it and have it become something that feels very real, very tangible, very applicable. And it allows us to feel more peace and more balance and more harmony in life as a whole. It's just a way of life. And so, as I mentioned before, these gods and goddesses are really now emerging as their ascended master aspects. And they're doing this as a way to really assist humanity in this one part of the ascension process. And one of the goddesses that I've been working with very closely over the last year and a half, almost 2 years now, but has really come forth in her ascended master aspect as I've been working with her in the Ascended Feminine as I put this course together. She's been really, really gifting me with a lot of downloads, a lot of information about this blending and harmonizing of the masculine and feminine, and just how important it is to, at this time, on the chronological time scale of humanity, it's really important to lose that limiting paradigm of that rigid polarity of masculine and feminine and start integrating these and layering them and overlapping them in a way that there's more peace and more harmony. We have to understand that there is a sacred marriage of masculine and feminine, and we can truly embody it here at this time. Goddess Hathor is just one of the many ascended master goddesses that are helping to come forth to help me understand the ascension codes that are part of the goddess or god oracle template. And they are coming forth, and I guess I could say using me as their oracle to transmit a lot of this information, to download a lot and disseminate a lot of this information about the goddess oracle template and the god oracle template. And the way I understand it, the best way to have this land with you in a way that you can get it is thinking of it as this template, or this way of being, this new consciousness of overlapping traits, especially of masculine and feminine. It's a template, a way of being. It's a way that kind of sets a groundwork or a foundation, a basis for everything to be built on top of that. And merging the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine is how we create that foundation. It creates a template. It's similar to thinking of it as like a computer motherboard, where it's a whole new operating system of unity consciousness that's really allowing us to balance and harmonize all aspects of self as we experience the ascension of the masculine and the feminine and all of humanity. And so Hathor is making her presence known for many reasons, but I'd like to share with you one of her divine transmissions right here. And in the voice of Hathor, she says, "I am here to remind you of the mystical and sacred marriage of the masculine and feminine. You, as part of humanity, are active in a movement of honoring the currents of your internal life force energies and how they create a dance of the spirit. I am here to remind you that your divine inheritance is that of you embodying self-mastery in all ways of being. You are a powerful master builder of your experience, and it is time to wake up from the dream of victimhood and disempowerment. I'm here to remind you of your multidimensional aspects of self and infinite access points of consciousness. I am helping you, along with so many other teachers at this time, to remember that you have the ability to create your reality on many levels of experience throughout the fabric of the quantum universe." So there is this beautiful transformation taking hold. It is happening right now. It's creating this foundation. It's resetting the foundation of the sacred feminine, the sacred masculine, and merging them both and creating this new motherboard, this like computer motherboard, this new operating system of unity consciousness, giving us a way to understand how these shifts are taking us forth further into the ascension process. And we can do that by using these goddess embodiments as ascended masters. They are mentoring us. They are initiating us. They are giving us key codes of initiation at this time to move forth into this consciousness with a lot more comfort, ease, joy, harmony, balance, creativity, inspiration. It is allowing us to redefine, reframe, and refine the creative force of not only our inner feminine, but our inner masculine. We are growing so much, we are expanding so much, and we are desiring ways of expressing ourselves in much bolder ways in the physical world. And when we can very adeptly fuse or merge these aspects of masculine and feminine together, we can create this beautiful dance. We can understand that we are part of this incredibly beautiful fabric, this tapestry that forms the quantum universe, where everything is connected at a subatomic level, where we can understand all sentient life, not only in this universe, but through the multiverses and on many, many different cosmic levels and planes and dimensions of reality. This is such an interesting time for us to be understanding where we are spiritually, to understand where we are emotionally and mentally, and to be able to bridge any gaps in our understanding. There are so many tools available to us at this time, and I've been learning to use, and I don't want to say I've been using these goddesses as tools, but they've been incredible bridges in my consciousness to help me understand not only how to create more spiritual awakening with these ascension codes now, but how to teach this as well. So the Ascended Feminine is an 8-week course that is really, it's a gathering of like-minded seekers or searchers on this spiritual journey who are looking to understand more of their inner feminine, inner masculine, and understanding where they overlap and merge, and where you can have a beautiful integration of all of it. So it feels like you are operating from a place of wholeness, of pure being. And so in the Ascended Feminine, we will attune our energies to 8 of the multifaceted goddesses, 8 of these goddess ascended master emanations that are coming forth at this time to act as teachers and mentors. We are working with Freya, Brigid, Hathor, Kuan Yin, Sekhmet, Morrigan, Kali, and Sophia. And so we will align the highest attributes of their gifts through divinely downloaded language transmissions in the course. And in doing so, I will help you to integrate these energies in the highest and best way for you right now, in alignment with your highest and best timeline. And in working together and playing together in this space, it is not so much arriving at the destination of understanding Ascended Feminine, it's more about the journey of uncovering your own Ascended Feminine emanation, who you are with all of your gifts and abilities and talents, and bringing that into full integration as you energetically merge with these goddesses. This is really going to be a unique and individual journey as you redefine, reframe, and refine the creative force of your inner feminine that is growing and desiring bolder expression of pure essence into form in this physical world. This is really about not defining yourself at arriving at a destination, but really understanding how you will align all of the multifaceted aspects of the goddess energy as it is mirrored within you to keep creating new ways of being that suit your desires that are ever expanding, ever growing, ever shifting, and desiring greater and bolder expression all the time. So if this speaks to you, I have 5 spots left in this course. We start April 19th at 1:30 p.m. Pacific on Zoom. The time might change a little depending on who joins, because I always have ladies who join me from all over the globe. So we will try to accommodate so that you can be there live. It's going to be one of those courses that's not passive. It's best if you can be there present for all of the classes, even though every class will be recorded and you can access the recordings. But there will be so much integration, so much transformation happening in real time as we do these language transmissions and divinely download information from the goddesses, that I want to help you assimilate and accommodate these energies in the highest and best way for you. And that happens best if you're there present. So if this is calling to you and you think you'd be able to work with Thursdays going forth for 8 weeks starting April 19th, and again, the time is kind of negotiable. The early bird price is still available until April 14th, and that's $888 if you want to pay full price. And if you want to break it up into payments, you can do 2 monthly payments of $479 or 3 monthly payments of $333. And so you can contact me and secure your spot. If this speaks to you, I would love to work with you and help you assimilate these energies, accommodate them to have a greater understanding of your awakening experience that's really taking hold for you at this time and taking off like a rocket. And for many of us, we're feeling this, and we would like ways to have this really come into our awareness so it feels whole, it feels pure, it feels full of integrity and full of authenticity. And it's one of the things that I love to help my clients do. So if this calls to you, please join us. Think about joining us. Excuse me, starting April 19th. So happy Soul Session Saturday. I want to wish you guys just many, many blessings and love and light. Bye-bye.